Good morning, everyone. This is Miss T. I hope everybody is doing well, feeling okay, feeling well, and getting along with life. Today, what I wanted to talk about was, or is, um, everything and everyone is not for you. There's times in our life when we have to let go of friends that we have or had. Um, if you're lucky enough to have a friend that you had in your childhood, I do. I have my one of my best friends. We've been friends since we were 4 years old. But some people grow away from each other, or some people grow out of something, or if your friend decides to take a different turn or do something different that you don't might not agree with or whatever, and so you guys just drift apart. There's nothing really wrong with that. You didn't fall out, you guys just went your separate ways. It's when people try to hold on to people that they know aren't good for them at all. You see that in relationships, between men and women, or friendships, or whatever relationship. And what happens is people get comfortable in dealing with what they've been dealing with. If you've been in a relationship, friendship, for a long time, some people don't feel like they want to start over, or they want to, take the time or try to find another mate or whatever, so they just get used to the one that they have, even though they don't feel, they're not happy, they're not satisfied, but at least they have someone in their life. No, everybody's afraid to be alone. Everybody's afraid to be their own person or stand out in a crowd. We have these people that might not agree with the group, but because they're the only person, or one of two other people, they're not going to speak out because they feel like they're outnumbered, or they feel like, I don't want to be the subject of ridicule. So they don't say anything. And that's how we start this. We got this dynamic where some people are leaders and some people are followers. And when we have people that are leading who shouldn't be, then we get horrendous things happening. Take Charles Manson, for instance. He led a group of people, but he was not a good person. And look what he did. It always seems to be someone who has an agenda. Look at Jim Jones. They said he had charisma, and, he could talk, real well, and, capture your attention. And he had people selling their houses and selling cars and just giving him all their money, and look what he did. You should never be afraid, ashamed, or anything to be who you are, no matter what. We're so busy, we don't want to have people talk about us, or we don't want, they're talking about you anyway. You just haven't found out. I used to have this, I called her a friend. I put her in my associate list, on my associate list, which I probably shouldn't even put her there, but it doesn't, what the hey. But people used to come back and tell me that she would say this or say that. And I wouldn't even say nothing to her. I said, then when, after a while, I was like, well, she probably did. Okay. But she was so, be very careful of friends who are so, they praise you, or friends that smile with you or compliment you all the time. Because I've learned that those type of people really are envious of you, and probably are trying to find a way to make you, take you down a notch or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you are out here acting like you're all that or the best or whatever. Some people just have a personality and traits that people just automatically. Have you ever went somewhere, you have like for work, and there's a group of people there, and everybody wants to sit by you because you're so fun, and there's just natural people who attract other people because of their personality or their charisma. And other people see this, and some people don't like it, and some of those people could be your friends or so-called friends. What I do is I don't put anything past anybody, so I'm not surprised. I have one true friend, and then I have one male friend. And the reason why I don't say he's a true friend is because a true friend to me would be a person who would take your secrets to the grave, a person who doesn't want to see you hurt, or a person who doesn't want to see you down, or a person who loves you like a sister or a brother, or like brothers and sisters. That's what I call a friend. So usually my friends are I call my family, because if you're that close to me, that's how I'm going to treat you. There's no difference between you and my blood people. I'm going to treat you the same. And I say I didn't put him in that category because I'm not so sure about him keeping all my secrets. Well, I don't tell him any secrets, but who you can share things with, and we've been friends for years and years and years, and I've never heard anything repeated that I've said. It's just, if you're lucky to have found somebody like that, you need to hold on to them and treat them like you appreciate them. Because in this day and age, it's very rare that you find any genuine friends, any genuine relationships, just any genuine people, period. And so when you have one and you truly feel that this is a genuine person who I want in my life, you shouldn't take that person for granted. You should always, be there for that person. Like, when I'm a friend to you, there's nothing I wouldn't do out, that's in my will or whatever to do, that I'm able to do for you, because you're my friend. That's just friendship. That's just sometimes one friend has to hold the other friend up for a while, and vice versa. Sometimes both of you are down together and you have to climb back up together. It's just that knowing that you have someone that absolutely loves you and is your friend is a wonderful feeling. And if you have a friend like that, you should let them know how much you appreciate them all the time, because there's so many people out here who wear masks and who are fake and really don't like you. Really don't like you. Um, they just want to be around you because you would draw other people. You have a lot of friends, or when guys go places, you have fun because you're always the life of the party or whatever, and that's why they have you around. But as soon as you're not around, and of course you're not there, your name is a topic. It's in their mouth talking about you to someone else. I don't see a lot of things as serious or necessary like other people do. If I find out that you're trying to backstab me or whatever, I'm not going to confront you and have a big whatever. Unless I guess it depends on what you're doing, but I'm just going to leave you alone. If you don't hear from me, if you text me a few times and I didn't text you back, then you should, I don't know, because if I text somebody a couple of times, and they don't text me back, they don't want to be bothered, so I'm not texting anymore. And the reason why I don't go the route with the confrontation, the altercations, is because it's not necessary. For what? For you to say this, for them to say that, for you to call them this, and you to, and and then air out so what I do is my circle is non-existent. My secrets are between me and God. I don't go and try to stir up drama because I do not like drama. I feel everybody, good person on this earth, has a purpose. They just need to find out what that purpose is. I believe God blesses every good person and uses them in some kind of way. I think I believe black people have been held down for so long that some are just tired of you get tired of being beat down, or however you've been treated after been treated for so long, and so you don't give up. You just are tired. You don't feel like dealing with it anymore. So if you can just basically not disappear, but you stay in your own little place and don't have to deal with different things, and that's not good, because people have stuff inside of them that could shine and help other people, or that you love to do, and you have to suppress it because you don't want other people to criticize you or talk about you. But what you need to really do is take a look about the people around you, the circle that you have, or the square that you have, or whatever, and do a check-off list. I don't know if you've been able to call that friend or that person and and they talk to you from 1 o'clock in the morning till 3, because that's really not a good because some people would just want to hear the gossip, so that might not be a good one to use. But you can feel the friendship, the genuine friend, you can tell because you'll feel it, you'll know it. It's just like being in a relationship with a man who you feel is genuine with you. I was listening to a podcast, and they were, I guess women are trying to figure out men, because there's a lot of podcasters out here trying to tell women how to treat a man so that he'll stay with you. And I'm like, are you saying women don't know how to treat men, or are you saying there's a new way to treat men that we need to learn? I wasn't understanding, but I don't really see a lot of podcasts about men. You need to learn how to treat your woman this way or you're going to lose her. But anyways, I've watched these podcasts and I agreed with some of them. If a man is not that interested in you, he doesn't take the initiative to do things to make you happy. He's not, or he's not going to take the initiative if you explain to him something that you don't like that he does to you or says to you. He will take the initiative not to do that. If he cares about you. If he doesn't care about your feelings, you're just going to be talking to a wall. And what's going to happen is you're going to start to resent him, and he's already at the place where he is not caring about you or your feelings. And so that's where the disconnect comes, and people drift apart, and then this person goes and has an affair with this person, and it just causes so much drama unnecessarily, and it could cause fatal drama. So we all have, well, if you're dealing in the world, you have your senses, all your senses. We know when something's not right. If you argue with your man, boyfriend, whatever, almost every other day or whatever, that's not good. Home should be peaceful, and where both of you can have comfort, peace, be able to clear your head, just relax, because the outside world is where they are going to kick you and try to push you down and try to do whatever they need to do, step on you. You need to have peace and comfort at home. So if you got people on the outside trying to do you in, and when you go home it's chaotic there, how is life treating you? How are you going to maneuver through life? You're always going to be upset. You're going to turn to certain things to make, let me just drink. I don't want to hear her mouth. Let me just drink. Why do you have your shoes in the middle of some things? That's why I say some things aren't really necessary or not that important. Now, I know that most women, black women, like their house to look a certain way, and they don't want anyone to mess it up. They don't want anyone to touch it, or don't walk on the carpet with your shoes. I know that. I'm one of them. But when I learned that the man that I was dating felt some kind of way, like this was more important, me keeping my house spotless, I was making more effort than being in the relationship. And I didn't want to come off that way. I guess maybe I had OCD. I don't know. But I had to learn that it's not that important. Yes, you can keep a clean house, but you don't have to holler and scream at people when they just are living. It's called a living room. or drop something because you have brooms and vacuums. It's just not really that important to put a strain on your relationship. Men, women don't, and I can't speak for all women, but most of the time, if they are being treated the way that they feel they should be treated, they're not going to hound you. They're not going to want you to stay home. You can hang out with your friends. They're not, insecure because you're giving them, they know when you're out with your friends. They just feel that that's what it is. You're out with your friends because they know how you are with them when you're alone, when you're in public, or whatever. So they don't have a reason. Because I don't think all men cheat. I will stand on that. I don't think all men do the same thing. It depends on who the man is. I'm not going to put all men in the same category. I'm not going to put all women in the same category. Everybody is a separate person. They have their own ideals, their own rules, and how they want to live. Everybody is not the same. So if you are in a relationship with a man and he wants to hang out with his friends, or you guys just start dating, that's why you need to learn the person. Usually you meet someone, well, the old-fashioned way. You met him outside and you liked what you see and you got exchange numbers and you started talking on the phone. But now we've got video phone, so you can actually see each other. But I would suggest that that phone conversation goes on for a while, and that you ask questions that you want to know, to get to know that person, to see if this is something that you want to go ahead and do, or see if it can go further, or if this person is absolutely not the right person for you, then you can cut it off immediately. Some of the problem is we jump into relationships. Some women think when they meet a man, and especially if he's, from what you can see, that he's halfway decent, or he's a good man, we don't want to lose him, because if he's like that, anybody can snap him up. So we might move too fast. You might sleep with them and the next day or whatever, and that's not good, because sex is not the core of a relationship, even though people want to say it is, or people act like it is. It's not. You have to love someone in order to stay with them day after day for years and years and years. Because that people, how your tolerance is, and some people will work your nerves. So yeah, the sex is a piece of, it's like a extra topping on the cake or pie, but it shouldn't be the main. I'm with her because she can twirl and twerk and do a slide down a pole and then jump, because she's going to get old, or she, and her back is going to give out, and she's not going to be able to slide down a pole or twerk or do any of those things. So when you guys get a little bit older, if she's not performing those things that you fell in love with her for, or fell in lust with her for, are you going to get rid of her and find someone else? It just doesn't make any sense. You need to be paired with someone, like-minded person, somebody who fits you, that you guys match. He likes poetry, you like books. You might go out and find a book of poetry. I don't, and give it to him. He's appreciative. He likes gardening, and you love to toil the soil, till the soil with him. There has to be things that you enjoy together or have in common, because the relationship will go downhill fast if it's just sex, because you're going to, some people are going to get tired of that, and afterwards there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to do. He doesn't want to go to the movies because you didn't know he don't like going to the movies, but you love to go to the movies. He likes to go to football games and watch football on the TV, but you don't like football. So all of these things are draining your relationship, and why not make sure that you are building a healthy, loving relationship from the beginning. Now, everybody's not going to, be perfect or find someone who is just perfect. That's not going to happen. But if you are, I would rather, if a man has some qualities that I don't really care for, and we've talked about them, I'd rather stay with him and grow if he's trying, like if I can see that he's trying to not do that thing. But, I have to realize that maybe he's done that thing for a long time and it's going to take a minute. But just the effort that he's willing to try to change that. Because some men be like, I'm not, love me or leave me. And, or whatever. And then it comes down to who's going to be the stronger one. Are you going to stick to your guns, and is he going to? So if you get it right in the beginning, you don't have to, go through this throughout the relationship, because there's nothing worse. I was in a relationship for 10 years. That's my longest relationship, 10 years. We lived together 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lived together for maybe 8 of those years. And there were not a lot of red flags when I met him, because, there's some men who show you their representative and not their true self. But, that will fade away, because whatever you do, you'll forget. You can't pretend to be something when you're really not. You can't do that for long. But he was, I outweighed, and I felt he had more good qualities than bad qualities. Now, there's nothing really wrong with that, but if some of those bad qualities are something that you shouldn't accept, it doesn't matter about all of his good qualities. And so I went 10 years, of course, we got engaged and we were going to get married. And I found out things about him, and that weren't going to be okay with me. And so I broke it off. But that was 10 years of my life gone, because I didn't take the time to really find out if this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And when you're young, you don't really think of everything that, your future, what you need to have in your bank account, how you need to save for this, and how you need to maneuver in life. You're just young and you just want to be free and party, and you really are not thinking about that. And that's so sad, because that's when you should be thinking about, keeping your credit good and building stuff so that when you get older, you have your house and you have a good savings account and you have Roth and you have, all kinds of things that you can live off of when you retire. Instead of scrambling and scraping to try to make things, come to come together. And that's a lot of work that causes stress, and it causes marriages to break up and all kinds of things. Causes domestic violence, child abuse, and that leads to all other kinds of things. This day and age, people kind of go by their own rules. They just make them up as they go. And sometimes we just accept it that way because we feel like, I don't want to have to, just like, I'd rather have a piece of someone and then not to have anything. And what you should be saying is, I am worth having someone who treats me well or respects me or loves me, that I'm not going to take anything less. So that you know that you're with the right person, and you don't spend 10 years together and then split up, or if you're ladies, men, if you're already in that type of relationship, I'm sure if you've been with your significant other for over 10, 15 years, you're doing something right. Now, I said if you're in a good relationship, not if you're in a relationship that you're just tolerating him and he's tolerating you. If you're in a good there was a couple that I worked with. They were married and they worked in the same building with. We used to laugh because they took lunch together. They came into work together. They left, and they would always hold hands. And they were so they had fun amongst themselves. Like, they were both funny, had a good sense of humor, and they were funny together. I never seen. I'm sure they did argue, but they were like best friends. And you might laugh at that because we were like, oh shoot, he has to, if I was her, she gotta ride to work with him and then have lunch and then ride home with him. That's too much. And then then you get a relationship and your man don't want to ride to the grocery store with you. You can't get him to have lunch with you. So you don't have to go through that. It only takes for you to do it right the first time. If the word itch is in a man's vocabulary that you are possibly looking to date, if you don't like that word, don't date him. You can't get with someone and then be mad when they do stuff that you didn't like in the beginning, or you didn't like in the first place, but you went ahead and accepted it. We do that. We do that because people are looking at the outside of people, not their insides. Everybody wants all the men want, like I said, not all the men, but want a curvy woman, thick thighs, big butt, big breasts, long hair, whatever their preference is. And so when they see this woman, they're in awe, and they really don't realize that she's not good inside. She's not a good person inside. So by the time you decide you want to be exclusive, now you have a headache because she's always complaining and she's always flirting with men in front of you, and men are always looking at her and disrespecting you. It's just a big it just can be a big mess, and you can avoid it. You can not have to go through it. Use your common sense. Put you first. Decide that you love yourself. You should love God first and then yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how can you love everybody else? If you're not together, how can you take care of your kids if you don't love yourself and you're so always down and always feeling tired and upset? You have to love yourself, because if you love you, people can't mistreat you. People can't make you feel any kind of way. When I was younger, and I don't say these things because I love my mother. My mother's gone now. But I talk a lot about I was an abused child, and I was, but I have forgiven my mother and I loved her. So it's not, I'm not saying it to put bad things on her name or to make people feel sorry for me. That's not, I'm just saying if you can overcome something, anybody can. And I remember that my mom used to call me stupid and dumb, but I never felt that I was stupid and dumb. Sometimes when you got a child and you keep telling them something over and over and over again, they're going to start to believe it. But for some reason, it just never stuck. I just ignored her. I don't know. And I know she knew. She apologized for things that she did, and I'm not going to, I don't know what she was going through in her life. So I'm here. She gave me life. She did the best that she could. And that's all I can ask for, And God protected me, and he kept me from things that could have happened or I could have gotten into, with my circumstances. But if you love yourself, that kind of stuff can't penetrate you. You're smart. You know that you're and I don't want to say pretty or handsome or anything, because looks aren't everything. And some people's pretty is not somebody else's pretty. And your looks fade as you get older. If you don't have anything else but your looks, what are you going to do when you're 67, 8, whatever, and you're not turning head, or your body's not banging, and you're not, you have to be more than that. Sure, it's fun to have men looking at you or saying things to you, but that is not who you are. That's a part of you, but that's not you. You need to be a whole package. There's a whole package that people are humble, people that are kind, and people who care about other people, and just a whole bunch of things that could be in your package. Not being self-centered and selfish and all about yourself. That's not a good way to be, ever, for anyone. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are that way. But you just have to pray for those people. So, like I said, when you don't let those things penetrate people can't hurt you, because you have the ability to know your worth and know that you are a loving person or a lovable person, and you love yourself. They can't penetrate that. They can't make you feel bad. They can't say, whatever, and you just fall for it. And some men are mad about that. Some men want you. Men want to be wanted and told and showed all the time, even though some of them don't show it back to you. But they want to be able to say, she's blowing up my phone, You know, here she goes again. She drove past my house. You know, men want to be able to tell their friends that, because we put together with being a stalker and whatever as love. That's not love. That's insecurity, and it's a bad way to be, because things aren't going to, you know, you're heading down a bad road. Um, so no, that's not love. That's something else. But you will know true love, because it won't feel like anything that you've felt before. You want to change. You want to be a different person to make this person happy. You want to be with this person all the time, or text this person just to say, hi, I was thinking about you, and just, you know, things like that. Simple things like that are the way that women and men can tell that they are in a good relationship. Um, if you can't wait for him or her to get out the door, leave, and don't. And when they're coming, you can hear that key in the door. You start to get an attitude. You're not in a good relationship, and it's just based on how you want to handle it. Some people live miserably because they just want to be miserable, I guess. Um, so yeah. So when I decided to take my journey with the Lord, it wasn't easy. I had to give up a lot of things. And one of them was being in a relationship, because I truly believe God wants man and woman to be married when they have sex, when they're intimate. And if you're not, you're committing fornication. It's in the Bible. So I didn't think about it. So of course I had to stop dating and stop, you know, doing the things till I got myself together, where I got put, where I was able to say I am okay now. So it's been 11 years I've been without a relationship and celibate. And some people say to me, how? I don't believe you. But if you're doing something that you truly believe in, and you believe God is over it, he's handling that. If God, you don't want me to, you know, fornicate, you won't even give me the desire. And so that's basically where I'm at, you know. I can't even, and it doesn't even, you know, I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't thought about it, but it doesn't sit there. It's not in my mind. It's not, you know, no, it's not. It's just a passing thought sometimes. And I guess that's just because I'm human, I'm sinful, my flesh, or whatever. But you can do anything. You can refrain from any bad situation when you have God in your life. Everything always revolves back to God. Everything, you know, if you want your relationship to be good, God, you should let God bless it. If you want to, you know, keep your job to be smooth, you want God to be with you, you know, you just keep those things in your mind, and He will be with you, and you can overcome the obstacles that you can't overcome by yourself. People be like, you know, yes, I have been alone, but I'm not lonely. I don't, excuse me. It's not a big deal. I just put it in God's hands. If God wants me to have a husband, He's going to give me one. I'm not going to go look for him. I'm not going to do anything but just, and if I don't ever get one, then He must mean for me not to have one. That's where I'm at. I'm telling you, my life is so much easier. I'm at the point where I don't have to really be bothered with a lot of stuff of the world. I don't have to deal with a lot of things because it's simpler. When you let God fight your battles, when you let God run your life, and you love yourself and you love other people and you treat people the way you want them to treat you, it's just simpler. Now, you do have to be careful because, things are going to come. People are going to do things and try to knock you off your game or try to knock you down, because some people don't like when you're nice or you're admired by other people because of the way you carry yourself or the way you present yourself. And so they want to get you out of character so they can say, yeah, I knew you had it in you, or nobody can be that nice, or nobody is that together, which I'm not saying I am, because I'm not. But some things that just don't matter. I'm not going to argue because you cut me off in traffic. I'm not going to follow you and honk my horn and throw something at your car. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get out my car and yell at you because you took my parking space. It's not even that. It's not worth it. For what? To possibly cause something evil to happen, and unnecessarily, because it's unnecessary. Some things are just not that important anymore, and it's so much easier. So if I was to say anything, I would say that it's still not too late. If you want to change, you feel like your life could be better, you feel like your relationship could be better, you want to save your relationship, or you want to find someone to spend the rest of your life with, you have to make a conscious decision that you're going to be your own person. You're not going to follow follow at what everybody else does because it works for them. It's not working for you. So you need to be, when you stand out, people pay more attention, because if you blend in and you're in a crowd and you don't stick out, all they see is a blob, a crowd of people. But when you're strong-minded and you talk for yourself and you stand up for yourself, you're noticed, and people do like that, and people do like to see somebody, because it gives you a sense of security when you have, especially if you're dating someone and he's going to always stand up for you. He stands up for himself. He has pride and respect. That is like a turn on. That's like very, very attractive in a man, for me at least. I don't know about other women, but yeah, those are key qualities. Those are good qualities to have, being a man. A woman doesn't mind putting her, if she feels secure, doesn't mind putting her life in your hands with the Lord, of course, because He has to rule first. And she can feel comfortable, and she can feel much better. So the household is going to run better, because she don't have to worry about it. She's going to make sure that when you come home, you getting a big piece of chicken. There's peace in your house. She's going to have that lingerie on whenever, just to surprise you. The kids are going to be asleep. She already got them bathed and fed, and they're asleep. It's just going to be more delight, you'll love it. You can't wait to get home. You love to spend time with your wife or your husband. You plan special things to do with them, because y'all are like one. You're together. You're like best friends. Nobody can tear you apart. You are together, and That's how it should be. People shouldn't have to go through life depressed, on drugs, being an alcoholic, and doing all kinds of things because they don't feel worthy, or they don't feel, accepted, or whatever, however their life is going. And if you have a good partner, that makes it all the better. So we shouldn't really, like I said, everyone is everything and everyone is not for you. Stop wasting time with the people that you know are not for you, shouldn't be in your life. You need to get them out. You should have got them out a long time ago. You keep them there just because they've been there for so long. What's the point of getting rid of? The point is they're not being anything good in your life. They're not doing anything to uplift your life. They really could care less if you succeed or whatever. So stop. It drains you. If you've ever had a friend that all you were there for, you got that person out of binds and thing, it was just a toxic friendship. That person complained about everything. Everything was so problematic. I ran out of gas, and she's screaming and hollering like she's gonna, pass out. And all you tell her is, meet me at the gas station. And I'll that is draining. So you'll find that if you can get people out of your life that should not be there, or no longer need to be there, how simple you can make things, how happy you can be, how positive you can be. You could think you're positive and go hang out with one of those people, and they brought you down. You had a smile on your face and you were singing a happy tune, and now you're all mad and you cranky, and when someone says hi to you, you snap at them because it just isn't good. And the sooner you get that out of your life, the better you will be. That's all I have to say for today. Everyone, I hope, has a blessed week and stay safe.